Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the first channel to stream Tormenta 20 played in English. I am not Alexandra Januzzi yet, but soon I will be. Right now, I'm just Guilherme Moina with you, and I'll be your host and GM for our adventure of, well, end of times adjacent content tonight. So with me, as always, I have an amazing cast, so everyone, please go ahead and make your introductions.
Hi, I'm Sydney Granat. I will be playing Dr. Violetta Goldwing. Yeah, we're so professional. I feel like after that comment too, I'm like, do I need to warn Alex? Do I need to tell his wife?
They shall merge into one being.
They shall merge.
Hi, my name is Evan. I'll be playing Skorn, the Bloodhound.
My name is Caden Schaefer, and I'll be playing Zartheus, the Lodestar.
Cool. So, as we left off last week, you guys just got some pretty shocking revelations on your case. And you're now in this back alley with this huge mural painted on one of the walls that extends all the way to the extension of the alley. And you hear the inspector, Gavin, slowly getting up from the ground where he was analyzing some evidence or stuff for stuff left behind, and he asks you, right, so what do you make of this so far?
It seems to be that there was some magic kerfluffery going on with Homero and his a particular piece of work that went wrong. It appears the leading theory is some form of hypnotism or charm or whatever painting that he had above his dining table appeared to words. This is
table,
how I speak.
The massive painting over the table concealed a seal that was adjusted by Homero. He was aware of the dangers. It could have been some sort of mania. It could have been exposure to something. Any variety of reasons. It was obviously a well-kept secret. Mr. Benjar was not aware of the particulars, although he seems to keep away from any more arcane machinations. Something in relation to that painting, which is a depiction, in my opinion, of Tormenta. It is how our brains attempt to rationalize it, on top of the fact that we have a masterpiece statue that seems to have gone missing that has only been witnessed by the two people who, as of right now, seem to have the most exposure to Tormenta within this building. As we have this mural, which was created by Gráan and the children having, as far as we know, either stopped coming or potentially gone missing, and Gráan himself being exposed to a very powerful spell that should have, by all means, probably killed him, but had no effects before he fled into the night. By all appearances, it seems he has been pulled into this circumstance by the machinations of his mentor, teacher, employer. However, we are not aware of the finer details at this time.
And that's what we that last bit we got that from the the mural vision, correct?
Correct. Yes, that was a vision I had. I fully believe Gráan is an innocent in this, but I fully admit this is more a matter of emotion than logic.
Well, as you all know, that might not held up in court, but it's good to have a gut feeling. We usually start off with that. So
we have the beginning of some evidence, though. We have a painting. We have a tampered with seal. We have the remnants of the spell cast by Homero in the alley. We can analyze those, and that can be presented before a court.
Right.
But obviously, the priority at this moment is not necessarily charging an individual with a crime. Also, one only needs to look into the disposal bin in this building to understand something deeply illegal is going on. Do not look in the disposal bin unless you're properly prepared to handle a virtual torment of torment.
Red matter. You're saying that there's red matter over there.
I would say it is practically bleeding out of the building.
Okay. You just go grab the containment guys. We usually have them on. Oh, shit. That's gonna be a lot of paperwork. All right. So yeah, code red. Fucking name. We are going to seal this off from now on. Then, unless you have anything else to check before moving on with your investigation, we would very much like to extend our, current quarantine zone, as we say it. And have you, keep on your track.
And someone was dispatched to ensure that Homero is not able to access any arcane means at this time.
Well, at this time he's not able to access.
Well, should he regain consciousness?
Right. No, we at the hospital wing where he was transferred to is under guard. Also, and he snaps a finger and calls from one of the guards that's leaving, and he says also, see if that issue with the flu or something, the kids that went to the hospital this week, see if it has anything to do with these alley here. We might have something on that. I heard something of an infection or something that went around this neighborhood, and lots of kids were sent to the hospital, and they just thought it was some, seasonal bug or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying that much attention, but now that you're saying that those kids that played here might have been exposed to this, it might be related to that. Good news is, if you can call it good, that all the affected parties are at the same hospital. It's not very far from here. My men already were dispatched to do both of those things that you've asked for. I'll have to stay here and coordinate the whole quarantine thing, and I would ask you to. You don't need to secure Homero, I don't believe. We have men for that. But if the kids are indeed related to this case, even tangentially, it would be good to talk to them, maybe, if they are feeling well enough to answer, and if their guardians allow it. And also maybe, I don't know, if Homero wakes up or something, you can maybe ask some questions while he's still groggy, might be a little more forthcoming. Either way. And then, I don't know.
Mr. Zarthius, may I have a word with you for a moment?
Absolutely.
I'm going to sidebar.
Is this off to the side? Do we step over?
All right. Well, he just turns to another guard and starts coordinating stuff that he needs.
I believe further interviews are going to be a waste of time. They are not in relation to, I think, the better use of our skills, which would be tracking down the missing masterpiece, as it were, or searching for Gráan.
Agreed. But however, we'd have no leads on where to begin unless we have a way of finding a trace. I'm not the most magically inclined. I don't
But
know.
you do have resources.
Physically, I don't.
My apologies, but surely you have a network of people who may be aware of different statuses who might be able to pass along information in regards to, I don't know, a statue come to life, a red imp running through the city and fleeing.
We could. I could ask the nobility around, see what some of them have seen, maybe even just a couple of the random citizens. I guess we just start knocking on doors. My network is just sort of people. I'm sure we can get something out of somebody if we...
I was going to say, people is what we need. We need an abundance of eyes and ears.
Well, then, I guess the next thing we look for is people. Where's the closest... assuming this is a neighborhood of some sort, but they evacuated, where would the closest...
Yeah, so far they have kind of cordoned off like the immediate neighborhood, not the entire like district or anything. Unless it seems that it might have spread, because it's not like a toxic, waste spewage. Just something that people should be kept far away from it, and it should be watched. So if it spreads, you can be ahead of it.
Right, because anybody who was near,
it's probably gone at this point. Like has been moved out.
Mm-hmm.
Or are in the process of. So you might catch some of them still being moved. But yeah, since it's a crime scene and it had some, weird stuff involved.
Because you're correct, there is a good chance that somebody saw something.
And this is a one shot, so I don't know how much it's been built out.
No, you can. Can? Everything is all right. What we can obviously, I didn't map out the entire neighborhood, but don't worry. We can make a series of extended tests, so it can point you to wherever you need to go, or where if you succeed. But it could be. And what I can suggest to you, and you can make suggestions as well. Always remember, is to make any charisma-based or even nobility. If you, in your case at least, even if you don't have it trained, you do have the connections because you are in these circles.
Yeah.
Since you arrived, like you don't have exactly like a deep knowledge of these cities because you're not from here, like these cities nobility, but you do, brush shoulders with them, as it were.
I was gonna say we've been here. I think we said it was like a year.
You've been doing work here for long enough that you know people
in the party during the party and stuff like that. Like you probably know the boss to the investigator we're talking to. You probably know, like, if there's kind of a mail service, like the postmaster for the area, like.
Yeah, somebody who also, is very familiar with.
I will point out that Skorn, you do have as your favorite terrain, the urban terrain. So your, tracking skills do apply with a significant,
I was like,
from that. So
can we look for the trail of broken glass left behind from the shattering
You can do
skylight?
all that.
That'll be probably
investigation.
Well, if it was on top of a like tarp thing and then it fell off as it's flying or moving or however it's being transported,
I was thinking of trying to track down specifically the flaming imp that fled. Probably the fact that there's fire and burning things and potential
the smell
wounds.
in the air, yeah.
So what we'll do is pretty much whatever test that you can justify if it needs to. Some of them are kind of, obvious, and you can just do them. And it pretty much it's just a matter of how many rolls you do until you get a set number of successes, and that will just represent the time that you take to find out stuff that
so then we could probably take this as a two-pronged assault to just figure it out.
You could be like, exactly, like you could just head out and connect, like get in touch with your connections in the nobility and the high places of the city, while you could maybe talk to whoever in the academia and school that you went.
Yeah, I was thinking I just take notes about everything they figure out and then just cross-examine and analyze.
Awesome, that's a great. Also, I do think that you do have means to, I think, to communicate from.
Yeah, no, I will go ahead. I can do that now and cast a telepathic bond.
Awesome. So you now have phones, pretty much.
And I can increase it to 3. So all 3 of us are mentally connected.
Great.
So then we can this is a good way to split up and do what we need to do.
Exactly. And anytime you want, you can just get in touch throughout the day. So yeah, while Skorn can just actually try to get something to track and look for clues in the place. So just one by one, tell me what you're doing and what you would like to roll for it.
I think for the sake of just the mental, we talked to the investigator, let him know we're not gonna necessarily start with the hospital, but we'll let him know.
Right. Well, just let. If something happens there, we'll try to get in touch with you or one of my men. Of course, we'll try to track you down and let you know if you are needed. Because if you're saying that something escaped and it has to do with the Tormenta, I'm not really sure if we have any group of people more up to the test than you guys. So
no need to fear, we'll figure this out.
Cool. Okay. Right. Well, good luck, and let me know if you find out anything or if you need support from our guys here, and we'll get them.
Go get them, indeed.
Go get them.
So you guys get out. It's still the dead of night, around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. You've arrived here. It's been maybe an hour and a half since you arrived. Clock's ticking. Things are moving. What are you doing?
Perhaps I should go with Mr. Skorn, since I tend to be a detriment in any social circumstance.
I'm sure you two will make a phenomenal communicative team. Good luck. I have the utmost faith in you.
That's all Skorn does.
The entire charisma of the party just went the other way.
We're not doing the Christmas stuff. We're doing the other stuff.
You have the scientific and mystic, and then you have the practical and survival in me, and then he's just like, I'm over here with connections.
You guys
know
don't need
people,
to
okay?
talk. You can just you don't need to communicate. You can just stare at things until things happen. It'll be great.
He grimaces at you.
And with that, I'm gonna go make some house calls.
Cool.
He's learning to shut up.
Agreed.
I think it would be wise just to... Yeah, I mean, I would probably start with, if I have a connection to the owner of... who was it? Somebody said mail system, or like the way the packages... Whoever's in charge,
well, right,
call on some favors. Somebody who is in constant communication with everything that's going around.
All right. Yeah, you do know. Well, you do know that there is a heavy, like this city. It floats around the world, like it goes, like it's like a nomad city, and there is a huge. What's the name for it? Like ecosystem of ballooners that go from the city to the ground. Yes. So they're mostly goblins. Who are experts at ballooning. They have like zeppelins and all kinds of flying death traps that they make themselves, and there's fierce competition between them to be like the best one, to the fastest and best to transport people and goods in and out the city. So even if they are taking care of this connection with the rest of the world, they have to know like the ins and outs of the city, because some of them might be into not so legal endeavors, and they are very well connected. In fact, Dr. Goldwyn has that on her background. You do have connections with that as a receiver in the clouds. So
receiver
you could, maybe use her connections in some way.
Yeah,
the balloon. I actually think
she was there.
Well, if only you had like a magical cell phone in your head.
A way to communicate.
Yeah.
She's like, I open my mouth and you just hear her. It's like, whoa.
What is happening?
I mean, I will say, like,
okay.
I can't see a world in which you have not weaseled into the few people that are actually friendly with me. So,
also, to your knowledge, Zarisius, you have wings, right? And
yes, I can.
You can fly, but there's another special aspect to the city that made you like it very much. Usually, mechanically, you have something to Sydney's chagrin. You do have to spend mana when you actually want to like get a flight, like a flying speed. So it's like just a general energy consumption thing. Like you actually have to work for it. Yeah. Except this city, since it's floating, the very, very powerful spell that makes the entire mountaintop float with a city on top also extends to any creature flying above it and around it. So anyone that can fly do not need to spend any mana and can do it for free.
Ooh,
so you pretty much don't walk here because you can fly anywhere. You're also permanently affected by the equivalent of Featherfall.
No wonder the statue flew.
Okay,
you can pretty much Hulk jump and just slowly fall back to whatever you need. So
and that makes traversing
a good connection, actually, that you
so
just
much
made
easier.
And I'll give you a success for that.
Yes. We're succeeding.
You need, just so you know, you need 6 more.
Woo. Okay. Darn. Okay. What was the I don't know if it'll bark up any trees properly. I'm totally using that phrase wrong too. So, what the there was something with the magical items being trashed.
Hey,
maybe I should leave that up to that. Yeah. What's
mute
up?
yourself in unless he has it muted here. Yeah, can you?
Am I muted in Discord?
Yeah. Do that real quick.
Oopsies.
Oh, okay.
Well, they may not have heard you for a minute there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Probably. Yeah. It's fine. It's gonna be on.
We got some context out of there. And all that stuff, but
Yeah.
for the VOD. But yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
I just noticed. I was like, huh?
What's going on?
So yeah, you were going to talk to your contacts.
Yes, I was going to talk to our contacts.
For everyone not hearing you for the past 20 minutes.
Section?
I was like, maybe that's more of a thing that you two can do because it's physical. But if there's any connections with like the sanitation groups, because we did have those magical items or the magical things that were being trashed, if they noticed anything off or odd or what they had done with it or even like, if something
shady corporate, like shady other groups that seem to be like taking work from them, or
like any of the crazy shit that, or even perhaps maybe they saw a giant statue thing coming and hunting down flying through the air, or hunting down magical items for some other reason.
So yeah, give me whatever role you think would apply here, and we'll see. They do. You do not know. Like they did mention, just as a refresher, they did mention, like Benjor did, that they had some like private disposal company that Homero did use to employ, get rid of this stuff. But he didn't have any details. He just knew that they came late at night, and like most, disposal businesses, and just hauled everything off. And Homero would usually use that chute for that. But yeah.
Do you think it would be like diplomacy is like the schmoozy role? Like
diplomacy would be like the persuasion, the equivalent to persuasion, as trickery would be, lying your way there.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm lying my way on this one. I think we're being straight up, like, maybe not mentioning Tormenta, but like, hey, is there anything?
Sorry, I'm knocking on your door, but
the official matters type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just want to make sure, because I am trained, because I don't know if I'm gonna fail, but like, you never know. We'll roll that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do indeed pass. Just so you know, by the way, the DCs are pretty high, and they are going to keep getting higher. All right. Every success except that one that you figure out, I'm not counting as a DC bump. So, you passed that first one with flying colors. You track in the next hour or so, which was pretty quick given the sheer size of stuff that the amount of companies and people that you would need to get a hold of at 2 o'clock in the morning, pretty much. You remember this one time that you had to ask for a few guys from a cleaning, a city cleaning group that for access to the sewers to check on some evidence for another case. And you're like, you know what? They might know something about this, or at least point me at the right direction. And when you do get there, they say, oh, yeah, the guys that kind of have that area, and you do realize that they have kind of, areas they dominated,
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of gangy in the sense that they kind of dominate the areas. They are just around there, and they're pretty shady. What we do know is that they pretty much toss stuff overboard.
Just off the city?
Yeah, or obviously not from like the edge of the city, but they do go to the sewers and use some of the drainage systems that are supposed to just, pour rainwater and stuff back, like the rest of the residual we usually take care properly before getting rid of. But yeah, they use that to just chuck things overboard and be done with it, which is pretty frowned upon in our circles. So yeah, I mean, you could go talk to them. They're not the most savory kinds, but it would be hard because they do not have like a disposal ground, the entire route that Vectora has done from the entire year is pretty much their disposal route. So
right,
yeah.
Thank you. That's a great lead. I will have to give that a shot. Thank you.
It does give you instructions if you do want to talk to them, where they usually hang out, and the where the business front, like the shop that they have to, getting customers and stuff, is located.
I think that is a phenomenal idea.
Cool.
Do you communicate this over your mental cell phone?
Yes, I have instructions. Obvious, everything is communicated, but it's the letting you know where I might be headed next, especially unless you think you want to take it on.
I just wanted to comment that perhaps you might want to have additional muscle in this particular instance, since these seem to be very unsavory fellows.
Good idea. Maybe we'll circle back to this one when we're done investigating our own. Yeah, like a good meetup point.
In the meantime, you guys were doing something else. What was that?
Do we want to be on the same page? Do we want to be going after the little imp, or do we want to be trying to track down our missing magnum opus?
Why don't... I think I'm going to follow you, and I will stay with you. But I think while you are investigating the imp, I am looking for signs, like just visual indicators.
Gotcha. I think based off of my own skills, yeah, I'd be going for the imp because I'm like, yeah, the statue kind of flew into the sky and left, so there's not much of a trail that I can really try and find too easily. Versus like tracking down like potential footsteps or ashes or signs of just remnants of someone on fire fleeing the scene.
Yeah, you investigate that, and I'm just checking like if anyone's out there and if there's any weird reactions, if there's any like, weird damage to the city or just things that seem off as we're going, following you.
Cool. So who's rolling and what? Also, in this scenario, the doctor can assist, or the other way around.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would say if I'm getting specific, the first signs that I'm going to look for are footsteps and potentially any burn marks from feet touching the ground, all that kind of stuff from the flames.
Cool.
I think for
you want me to do survival or investigation on that?
You could do either.
Okay. Survival's way better for me.
Also, you would have to. I'm not sure how we left your sheet. I do think that you have a huge bonus, which will apply. I'm just not sure if it's already being counted or not. Let me see.
I think it already
you
was.
I don't think it is being counted, so you can add a +6 in a lot of things, but perception and survival among them.
Well.
Also, you are never in difficult terrain here.
Hey.
Never. That's
You said perception?
Yeah, you have a +6 in acrobatics, athletics, stealth, perception, and survival while on urban terrains. They are
Which
not.
one do you think would apply more to this situation, survival or perception? Then, because obviously I'll go for survival because it's just higher. But based off,
I would allow. No, yeah, I would allow survival in this instance, especially because you are the character is an explorer, like the explorer feat that he has is focused on city. Like you're a bounty hunter, your survival manifests as a someone who can get around a city and find people and tracks and stuff like that. So definitely you can go for it.
Here we go.
Wow.
Let me go to a different window where I can actually see what I rolled. Awesome.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm like, hold up, I got a lot of windows going.
Yeah, so you definitely also beat the threshold that you needed. So you were tracking the guy, like
the assistant who's on fire.
Yeah.
Gráan.
So you find at first pretty easy tracks for that. You find some soot, like some footprints with soot, in places that are better shielded from the rain, like under trees and light posts or anything that like shops.
Interesting.
From the outside of the shops, like when they have that cover. So you find a few tracks at first. They seem to lead to one part of the city that has some universities. It changes. Like when you're thinking like, oh, right, he's going back like to his place, it changes direction, wanders around for a bit, and it's starting to, you're doing that pretty quickly, like you're easily identifying the marks. Like sometimes is a handprint in like the wall of a shop or something, like sometimes it's somewhere he stepped on. At some point you almost caught the scent of his burning clothes, and you're tracking by that. The doctor is just like, what the hell is like he even tracking here? It's just streets. But you do get a sense that he kind of wanders aimlessly for a while, maybe deciding where to go, and then it does like a beeline to a square, and it leads you to a manhole, basically, like some access to the sewers.
Interesting.
So
I will use the bond to also relay this information and just say, seems like he fled into the sewers. So that way we're all kind of informed on that. And then in person to going, I will ask her if she can sense anything mystic or anything with the Tormenta.
I will. Can I use investigation on that?
You can use investigation. Since it's Tormenta based, you could also use
mysticism.
Mysticism.
Ooh. Actually, mysticism
or religion
is
if you
better.
have. I don't think you do.
I don't believe in gods.
All right, you especially do not have
I
religion.
especially do not believe in gods.
Yeah. I will not let you roll at all, by the way.
All right. So, mysticism. That is 27.
27, that does give... Oh, just so you guys can keep track, that's 3 successes, not now successes, now 4 for you. So yeah, you sense that there is something charged with a Tormenta energy here. You see that it's almost like a small burst of it happened in this like the cover for the manhole. Like it's almost as if he needed a boost to actually open it, which makes sense. It's heavy as shit.
It's heavy. He was described as very slim.
Exactly. Like
he's
he
an
doesn't
artist. He
look like
probably
the
is
type
not.
who would be like buff enough to just even with the adrenaline and everything, it seems like something that he would need an extra boost to do. It is pretty, like, for someone like they never described him as a powerful arcanist of any sort. So the amount of energy you sense here seems to not add up. Like, he shouldn't have that much power to spend here. Also, since you get the reading here, you kind of see kind of a trail going back from where you came from. And you kind of, like, for a moment there, you can almost see the trail diminishing. As if something is slowly but surely draining out. Like, that power that is inside of him is going away. And he seems to have expended some of it here to lift this cover. So you might be able to track that for a while if you decide to go into the sewers. You do know that it's like quickly fading away. So it might get difficult, more difficult, like as far as you go.
Let's see. How do I want to say it? So Mr. Skorn, definitely some Tormenta arcane power. It seems to have fueled him in a way that I'm not as familiar with. I should be able to assist in tracking that, but I do not believe it will remain. It seems to be dissipating at a slow but consistent rate. Unless, of course, he utilizes it. He utilized it to open the manhole cover. But I did want to make sure that we are on the same understanding that if we run into this Gráan, that we are not necessarily looking to harm, but more to contain and get the story from him as to what happened.
Well, if he's anything like me, that's fine.
Perfect. I'm just going to gesture to manhole cover because I sure as hell can't lift it.
And he'll lift it with his mechanical arm.
Yeah, just
easily, yeah.
Yeah, you're not very strong, but, like, again, you know where to grab it, You have like even to athletics, your explorer feat works. So it's just like you know how to do it.
I know
you
how
have,
Fulcrum works. This is a
yeah,
lever
you know,
system. We just got to pull right here, and just from this angle,
it's
and
not.
boom.
Yeah, it seems to you that he doesn't do it out of just sheer strength. Like look at my mechanical arm. It's just like you know how to do stuff. It just lifts it off as if it's just like a trash can covered in
Solid
center.
I threw out my back the other week carrying too many books, so this was.
So it's still pretty amazing. He does with
still very impressive.
a lot of ease. You see as he opens the definitely he opens the cover for you that the trail of course goes into the sewers, and you see now the difference in the potency, let's call, of the trail right after he had to kind of expend so much energy just to open it. But it's there. You can keep tracking it and see where it leads.
As I go to jump down, I just want to also just be like, I can't remember ever how to say. Is anyone ever gonna remember how to say your name, bud? I'm like, really? Zarthius? Zarthius? Wait, no, Zar.
I broke it down to be like Zarthius.
Well, I remember the. I was like, is it an O? And I'm like, no, it's an R.
I know
R,
that
like a pirate.
You get that part of the conversation through your ears, them like trying to teach each other to say your name out loud.
Look, I don't know why my parents put a Y where it is, but it wasn't my choice. I
didn't even know there was a Y. Anyways, we're going into the sewers to track down the imp.
Great.
All right, bye.
Good idea. Okay. Well,
I'm like, if that's all I hear him thinking, I'm like, I'm not doing. I'm moving on to the next thing. He keeps saying stuff, but I'm like, whatever.
Well, I'm just wondering if, because you said we discussed like how the people getting rid of things through the sewers and things have their own districts, kind of. Are we able to like pin down which area they might be in and who?
Yeah, if you describe where you are and you know the city enough to have a sense of where that is, from what the other guys from the other companies said, that already falls beyond the territory that company had. So unless they snake their way inside the sewers back to wherever these guys have a hold on, they seem to be in another area.
Okay, never mind then. That is
a very valid concern.
Yeah.
Did you inform us, by the way, of like what conversations you've had?
Previously, everything. Yeah, I'll assume that you are telling each other stuff unless you tell me otherwise. Or
I think as we're going through the sewers,
your what's the range?
What is the range?
Does it give any, or it's like?
I think it's.
No,
there's not a range.
Unless you're transported to another plane of existence, you're fine. Yeah. So just
I was gonna say, I last
no
the
plane
day
hopping
and it's,
as we do.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We've done this enough
you're not
times.
Getting rid of
you are aware of the rules. This is not a new. But while we're going through the sewers, I'm probably letting Skorn kind of take the lead still, and then I can communicate with Zarthius. Like I'm almost like I'm the passenger, being like, "Okay, this is what we're doing." So, Zarthius, do you have intentions of looking into anything else, or would you like to join us in the sewers, or?
Great place for a picnic.
Yeah. It was,
Perhaps looking into the... Perhaps...
Your hope is to avoid conflict, correct?
Ideally, that would be the preference. Perhaps you can look into the original artist of the painting that covered the seal.
Oh, I totally forgot. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Okay. I know we talked about the signature a little bit. Did we ever decipher who that was exactly? Or like...
No, actually Benjer told you that he always had that painting. I mean, from way before he joined his service. But then he just knew that it wasn't his. Like, it wasn't his signature.
Then I think a good idea is maybe ask some of the higher class people, like the snotty arts people. I'm sorry, art people.
No, yeah.
There's a caliber of art people that are...
I dealt with all of them at school. That's why I wrote this adventure. So go ahead.
To see if they recognize the signature or know of the piece, the artist, anything that might get me a sense of where exactly this came from and why it ended up where it was.
All right. Yeah. Give me knowledge or another charisma in that sense, because you are actually like trying to track down people. So
yeah, I think
wherever you want to go.
Like, I think if I'm gonna be talking with high class art people, I think nobility might be
nobility. Just if like it can apply. You don't have it trained like as in a specialization.
Right.
I will allow you to use it because of your background.
I do have.
You don't have much in the sense of, you know.
Right. I do, however.
So if you do prefer to use something else, is all I'm saying. It's fine as well. It doesn't need to be nobility to engage with them. That's all I'm saying.
Right. It doesn't need to be. What is my nobility? Oh, it's only 5. And then re-rolling it, the max I can get is a 25. Gross. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because as I told you before, it is increasing. Like, you already got one.
That's why if it was one of the first few, then maybe it would have been fine. But you're right. Okay. Let's. Knowledge is also bad. I think I need to.
I mean, for knowledge, if you do knowledge, I could probably help you, or maybe you could do charisma, and then I could, if we're concerned about the role, I can give you knowledge by, like,
of art.
Yeah, in this,
you know, I have many benefactors at the university, and while I don't know really much about art, I can at least list off a couple of names and some people who've, you know, who's married to who and who's engaged to who and who seems to be cheating on their spouse. Just things that I've observed.
Yeah,
diplomacy is
things that people talk about when they're close to you because they don't think you're paying attention, basically.
Right.
I sit in the corner a lot and I just notice things and tell no one. I know exactly who's embezzling from their parents.
Yeah. There's a good chance I probably just can diplomacy this, like, oh, we were at that party the other day, and you remember, and we could talk.
Oh, we were talking about that painting that, you know, you had just purchased.
Yes,
they were telling me how beautiful it is, and I'm so sorry I didn't even notice the hour. I just had to see it.
And I'm such a fan of whoever this signature is, but I can't. I've seen it around, but I don't know who or why or. It would be so nice to be able to get in touch and get some work pieces. Diplomacy for sure, because I can also re-roll diplomacy if I need to.
Does he have the painting? Like, where are they getting this from if he doesn't know who it is?
You can describe the painting.
Describe the painting.
Also the signature.
You probably do the signature to the best.
Have a quick sketch of the signature to show people, like something like that, and you know.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, I think. I know time is of the essence, but if it doesn't work out, I would say there's probably nothing wrong with grabbing a piece of paper and pen and just going to the painting and literally doing the one-to-one.
Oh no, bro! I was like
mentioned
stick figure.
something about you knew calligraphy in the first session when we were figuring out the seal. So
Yeah,
you know
from
some
the
calligraphy, so you might have a good.
Right.
I totally, yeah, exactly. You're trained in that. You can do forgery. I'm pretty sure you can quickly sketch someone's signature from memory.
You're a troublemaker.
So yeah, okay.
Look, I needed to go on those school field trips. Okay.
Exactly that. So yeah, you pass it, of course. You remember that one of the friends that you made in the city, one of the noble scions of the house, still young, like you, loves to party, which is a obvious reason why you made friends with him. He knows everyone, and everyone likes him. Like he's into mischief, but it is one of those types that seems like doesn't care about anything. But you, with a trained eye for court intrigue and stuff like that, know that he's actually pretty deft at looking carefree, but actually being careful not to step on anyone's toes and positioning himself close to people with influence and power. He seems like a very promising and also someone to watch out for, like an upcoming member of high society. And you know that at this hour, he's not even home. Like he's probably at some, ball or you just go to his home to ask where he is.
Yeah.
One of the
staff
workers there just point to like, well, it's something to the effect of, well, it started like he left going to this place, like who the fuck knows where he is at this hour. But from what he tells you, you kind of have an idea of, okay, if he went there, if he left, he went that other place. So in no time, you actually track him down, and he's already drunk, of course.
Yeah.
And you show him not right away, but you do tell that story of, oh, I just saw that painting. It was very moving and a bit disturbing, but in a nice way. And you start to describe the style of the painting, and you say, I saw some stuff, well, not as striking as that. Maybe you would actually, want to acquire that and stuff. You try to pique his interest in the painting. He likes, art, like most of the nobility in the city. And he's like, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, it's a new movement. Some artists do this kind of stuff. What you felt wasn't only, the how do you say, the aesthetic appeal of it. It's actually much more. It has magic imbued in it. So it kind of mixes with your emotions, and it's very trippy. They are starting to experiment with stuff other than painting, some sculptures and installations, and full immersion pieces have been, talked about in a hushed tone in the circles. Seems that it's the next big thing. So if you saw something like that, I would actually be very interested in acquiring. So it doesn't sound something from Homero, but he's a big one in this field. He's a big name. You could probably ask him if you want his contact. I can give you. If not, his works is more strange and he's a bit more conservative. Let's say. For an avant-garde artist, of course, in the use of this effect, let's call it. But he seems to be close with Romero. His name is Mirsky. Do you show him the signature, like the?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It comes up. Is it this by any chance? And because I know it's not Romero's, I've heard of him before, and when you show it to him, he's like, I have a small piece from him. I got in an auction a while back, and that's him. It's hard to tell because he signs in his own alphabet, so can mix us
in his own alphabet. Okay.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's from. He's a.
And then you got the piece from an auction, but what is? Would you know where I might be able to get in touch with this? How do you spell it? Mirsky.
What is it? Mirsky. So he says, well, they're usually they actually have a teaching position in some artist university here. So that's why he doesn't put out many pieces. He divides his time, which actually drives the prices way up for what he does, because there's not many things floating around.
Right, absolutely.
But also the fact that it's like the feeling, like with Romero, if you have ever seen it or experienced it, it's more of a joyful feeling, like something that, as if you no longer have boundaries and you are in touch with everything and everyone. It's almost like you're not just yourself anymore. It's almost as if you are part of a whole, like so connected and like a hive mind. But Mirsky, on the other hand, is more. It's very interesting. Don't get me wrong, but it's almost as if his work's trying to subdue you and possess you in a way. Some people like it. It's not for everyone, definitely, but it's very striking and
bold,
hard to resist. Let's call it.
Okay, the doctor is familiar with, I assume, magic schools, not so much art schools, presumably.
The doctor, just to position you actually are in. It's a long story, but pretty much it's a magical university that operates in its own demiplane. So the campus is not anywhere, like it's somewhere else, like in another dimension, but it does have like connections with obviously several of the capitals and important parts of the world.
So then
one of the main ones being here in Vectora, of course, because you have a good relation with all the magical research you do, and obviously the amount of stuff that they use. So there's a power dynamic that we don't need to get into now, but there's a kingdom that is all based in magic. It's called Vinla, and there's Vectora, and the leaders of those two places are kind of rivals. But this university is kind of a place where they are kind of they call it a truce, like the industry of Vectora and the knowledge from Vinla come kind of mesh together, and they both support it.
So then, okay.
I might be wrong about this. Victor Lucky, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's how I got the...
Then I think I might probably try and find out where this art school is. Because if I could meet this Mirsky, then that would be amazing.
Cool. Yeah, so... All right, your friend tells you where Miss Mirsky teaches. They have a position, tenure position at this art school. It's not far away from where you are now. It's actually closer to the district where the atelier is, so you can make your way back.
Cool.
And you can be there
in a time
not long from now. Yeah. So, especially because you can fly. He, of course, your friend asks you to stay for a while and have some drinks, and he says some other friends are coming over. The night's only starting, of course, only 3 a.m. He tries to make you stay, but he kind of, you get the sense that he's doing it not because he doesn't honestly want to, like, for you to stay, but he's doing it out of politeness, just because he noticed at some point that you're on a job, so you're not going to stay. Like, you're making some excuse and leave, like you've done before, and he knows it and respects it.
Yeah, just on the clock.
Tries to make you stay, but he knows that you won't.
We want a party, but we can't with the lives, innocent people protection, such a thing. Anyways,
yes, of course, my friend. Your noble call beckons you, so I will not keep you here. But when you do apprehend the bastards who did it, whatever it was, you can come back here, and I'm sure you'll find me at this very table, probably under it, and we can keep this up. So
yeah,
off you go then. Good hunting.
Go off. Yes.
1:30 a.m.
It's like, woo, drinks, yeah.
Well, as you leave, how are you guys while this is happening? So it's been another hour. You've been doing quite the advances, because you haven't had a failure so far. So you're already up to 5 successes. So 2 more, and you might be where you need to be.
We might finally figure something out. Anyways.
Yeah.
See, we're in the sewer, so I would say that probably looking for any just kind of displacement of all like the gunk, or I imagine it's like very messy and like just kind of like sludge and other things, and that probably when someone walks through it, you see like an actual like genuine, more clearly defined like footprint, since this stuff doesn't usually get displaced by or cleaned up very often and all that kind of stuff. So kind of continuing to track down those. I will say though, he does have was it dark vision? I believe I do. Skorn.
I think you do. Yeah.
Let me
maybe
hop over here.
I think both of you do, actually.
Both of us do. I mean,
you're not.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I do.
So we don't. The darkness means nothing to us.
Nope.
Yeah, and then also just out of caution from knowing that the Tormenta kind of is around here and all that kind of stuff, I don't have I don't require to breathe, eat, or sleep, so I will not be breathing this entire time that we're down here.
It's very eerie, Dr. Goldwyn, as you kind of listen, like you don't notice until it's not there anymore, but it's like, sheesh, why is his chest not, heaving anymore? What's going on? And you just hear pretty much the footsteps and the rushing water sludge, and some wearing, from his mechanical joints.
Yeah, I think we've done enough that it's not entirely like this has not happened before.
Yeah,
but it is a little bit of like.
It never does not feel normal.
Don't comment on it. Don't comment on it. Just.
Right, don't talk about it. Let him do his thing.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I want to know how his mechanical parts work, but that is also a very touchy subject, and he has voiced that many times, so I will not say anything.
As we advance, though, he will say to like at least not say out loud, but through the comms, because he doesn't want it to echo and give off the at least too much noise and reveal their presence as much. To ask her to keep an eye out for anything sudden, just Tormenta spots that we can hopefully avoid or that seem like we should look into them.
Of course.
Also, you still have the track from like the residue track from his energy, so you can assist with a mysticism check or something like that, and you can make a roll for whatever you want.
We are tracking the survival.
That was my thought. Was I'll let you do a survival and then I'll help with
the best roll.
You could help.
Okay, that is 23 to help.
Oh wait, it's not counting the benefit you said, right?
Okay, so it's a 30 with
30. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's
23
23
plus 6. I was like, I'm not sure if you can even roll that low. But yeah. So plus 2. So 32. No, yeah, that clears. Right?
You told us. We don't know.
Yeah, no. Quick math here. It does
I would like it to pass, please.
I would like it to pass. However, I don't know. I know you said it started high and it only got higher. And I'm like, we've been rolling high this entire time.
It does so with the help of Dr. Goldwing, because yes.
All right,
at some points, like you were assuming what you said, and it was true for most of it. Like you could see, like his footprints were very clear because he jumped from up there, and you could see them. Like they really like make a dent on the dirt and sludge where he landed.
Really displacing.
So it was pretty clear for you, and you could follow like parts of it all the way to kind of an intersection where it kind of joined another bigger tunnel, let's call it, and that shit was crowded. Like you were like, yeah, like who's going to be walking down here? And apparently a lot, because you do realize, and you knew that there's a huge underbelly, like quite literally, for the city, because the entire part of the city that is like the top of the mountain pointing down is actually crisscrossed by old tunnels and caves and stuff from the original rock formations of this place. Also the sewers, which have a big network there, and you kind of hit an avenue pretty much. So at some points you really have to stop and try to make sense of what you're seeing, because there's all kinds of tracks, boots and feet and claws and whatever the hell else. And at those moments when you're like, shit, I'm gonna lose him, the doctor, you kind of see like to the side of your peripheral vision, the doctor kind of just keeping the right direction, and you go off of her for a while, and you're like, oh, okay, there it is again. And so a couple of moments that you actually were convinced that you're not going to find it again unless you kind of circle around several tunnels, the doctor saved you, kind of pointing you to the right direction. You do get to a place that is pretty much a hub in the underbelly. It's a huge gallery of like interconnecting sewage and drains and stuff that kind of come off at this point. And it's almost like a small like a small neighborhood there, like full of, it seems to be bars and establishments, like shops, and you see several goblins tweaking with their engines for their balloons, and some like sewing like the tarps and stuff. Like it seems to be already at that time in the morning where they're kind of making the final preparations to fly out the city and deliver stuff and get stuff on or people. And you, Doctor, you know such places as being like almost like unofficial ports to the city, and a lot of contraband usually goes through here. Sometimes not necessarily, illegal stuff or dangerous stuff, but stuff that people will take the chance of not going through the proper channels just to...
Things they don't want to necessarily regulate it.
And also, people who don't have money to board like a more proper vessel will pay whatever these guys will accept just to come here. So you do notice that some of them are pretty shabby, like looking, their balloons and their rigs. So yeah, it's a little bit of danger. Sometimes it's the point of it, like being off the radar and stuff. But it's one of those places. And it's already waking up and starting to move as the day haven't started yet for most people, but they certainly did.
Skorn will go to some of the goblins nearby and ask them, "Hey, have you seen a red imp? Maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Not like scavenging by, but like almost just like just running by in a panic."
A red guy.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
You know which
Bald,
direction?
Pointy ears. It does that with his own pointy ears. Yeah. If he wasn't tall and red, I might have mistaken him for a goblin.
I can see
Except
that.
he was tall and red. Actually, weirdly good looking. That was, yeah.
Do you mind telling me which way you went?
Sure. Hang on a minute. Are you cops? As he says that, like everyone, like in earshot turns.
Do you? I'm not.
What? Me? What?
I shoot you a telepathic message going, perhaps don't say anything for a moment. Just look intimidating. And can I scan the other nearby goblins to see if I recognize a single face I can call out?
Give me a diplomacy check.
Oh, God. Oh, that was the 3 on the die. All right.
It's like you look
diplomacy
around.
plus 9, so it's 12 total.
12. You look around and you're like hoping against hope that one of those is someone who actually brought you something, like a shipment for you, or procured some item that you were having trouble to procure through normal means. But no, they seem like you usually didn't have to come to these places to ask for stuff, and you're not recognizing any of them. So yeah, the goblin you ask questions is like, you don't look like one of them, but what you want? Why West?
No, we're customers. Customers.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yes, no,
Who sent you here?
the red imp is a companion of ours who went ahead, and we just wanted to procure passage as he did.
Give me a trickery check.
This is not gonna go well.
I was gonna follow it up with I'm a bounty hunter.
Damn, fuck,
Which is a lot more fitting for this scenario than
it wasn't.
than
You
that. And I was
wouldn't
like,
be.
you said me not to say anything.
Alive.
Like, fine. Like, not to you. I'm a bounty hunter.
Luckily I rolled really well. That's a 23.
Woo!
Yeah, he's like.
That is an 18 on
Why
the die.
did you say so? Why did you ask like you were freaking bounty hunters or something like that? But anyway, no, the guy came here earlier. He didn't mention any. I have a shipment today, and I didn't have any space for passengers. So I pointed him into those guys over there. They were just unloading stuff at the port. But he didn't mention anyone coming. But he might have to them. But don't come asking questions like that. Haven't you ever? I mean, sheesh, come on.
Haven't you ever looked for someone?
Well, fair, but yeah, just in certain situations, read the room. We are not exactly, above board here. Just, you seem very serious, fella.
You see what I look like?
He does his full scan and he's like, right, gotcha, yeah.
Thank you for your assistance. And I just.
Well, yeah, good luck finding your impish friend. Have a good day. And he goes back
and
Sue
I try to steer Skorn away and go, okay, I should not have done that. I should never talk again. This was a and I'm vibrating with anxiety.
Sound, the more suspicious they'll be.
I miss my
Well,
map.
you arrive at another well, let's call it a shop, like a garage of sorts. It's really, very hastily put together at some point, but it never went to a more advanced stage of making it more permanent. So you look at it and it's like old, but it's like someone made that in like 15 minutes and never bothered. But it's there. It has all the stuff you need to take care of there. It's kind of a small zeppelin. It's deflated now, and they are just unloading stuff from cargo hold. It's not very big, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's like it would be the size of a van or something like that.
I just send a message over to Zarthius being like, might have been a mistake for us to go without you.
Out loud, I say,
fuck that. Am I privy of like, I know it's telepathic, but am I privy to any of what happens?
They can catch you up like easily without speaking out loud and.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Skorn being like,
sounds to me like you did great. You could do this more.
Oh, I'm deeply uncomfortable with this and despise lying. Mrs. Skorn, would you like to take the lead with this particular garage? Perhaps we just break in.
I say to her, just laughs like before she stepped in last time. Excuse me.
You see two of them hauling like a crate from the back of the this. It looks like at one point it might have been a ship, a small fishing vessel or something. But only parts of it. Like all the rest is parts of other stuff. Like the cabin seems to have been a carriage at some point. Like it's all very mishmash there, and you see them hauling a crate off the back of the this thing, and they're they seem already tired. Like this is the end of their shift. They're like, yeah, we are closed for today. We're just unloading here. If you have any business, you can talk to the captain.
All right, where is he?
As you say that, this like huge hobgoblin comes from the top of the like the railing of this what used to be a boat, and just steps over the railing and just like his elbow on his knee and goes, "I'm here. What you guys want? Something brought, something taken away, something disposed of?
Something lost. Pardon the intrusion, Captain, but we're looking for a little red friend of ours."
Right. What makes you think I know anything about this red individual?
Well, on the street is. He came this way.
Some pretty loose tongues around here, right? He says, like in general vicinity. That's very unlike my fellow denizens of this very reputable business district. Nah. Don't recall any. Red, you said? I'm a bit colorblind.
Little dainty. He's pretty skinny.
Mm.
Maybe it
Doesn't
looks
ring
like
a
he
bell.
just was on fire.
Showing a lot
That's
of
right. Is
restraint.
that right? Is that the story behind the guy?
Sorry, what was that?
Is that why he's red?
Oh,
He caught on fire. Turned red.
honestly, not 100% sure myself.
Well,
Good fellow.
let me know when you find him. Starts to turn away.
Out of play question for you real quick. Can an unseen servant like investigate things for me?
He could if yeah. Just to remind you, it would
Okay.
like you have to cast it.
I have to
If
cast
you
it, and I
export
have
that,
to not get
then
caught
yes.
casting it. And
Can I
yes,
say something
please.
else?
Yes.
Can I roll insight to see how much of that was bullshit?
Very much so, yes.
Before we get really into it, I was like, hold up, let me just be like, assess the information that was just given.
You're showing so much restraint. I like the need to want to like just point your gun at the guy. Like, tell me what I want.
Well,
We are in the middle of a very
as someone
hostile
who
environment.
looks the way he is, he does understand. He's just like, fucking people.
We are.
No?
If they decided to kill us, I don't know how many people in this surrounding community would
Would they
try
themselves survive? Who
Yeah,
knows?
either themselves survive. Like, who else would also like get caught in the crossfire? Who, if we died, what would happen?
You do know, Dr. Goldwyn, that they are usually very ready to have shootouts in the air against each other. All the time. At all times.
It is contraband, so I would imagine they're ready for kind of any encounter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did go
right,
first.
thank
So
let me see. Oh no, yeah, he wasn't like he wasn't trying to hide much in the sense of the fact that he was lying. He was just like, yeah, I'm not telling you. Like, what makes you think that? You're not like with that role and the difference in the roles. Would even give you that he might know something. Like it wasn't just him, like messing with you. Like I'm not feeling you either way, just because you, like, he might actually know something, but he was just lied to his face as to, you know.
So I'm gonna physically turn my body like away from this guy and facing you, pretend to make it look like we're talking, but I'm mentally.
We just lock eyes.
Yeah, just lock eyes and just mentally telepathically going. So either we can, no matter what, I think I need to get to an area where I'm not in sight, and I can either have an invisible servant investigate the premises, or I can just put the captain to sleep.
Okay.
So if you would help me locate an area where...
Also, you can try to make it, like, cast anything without making any sounds or gestures.
Yeah.
You just need to pass a test, or you kind of spend your mana without it, like it just fizzles out.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have a power that I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't
that
think I have
makes
anything.
you just do it.
Yeah.
But you can try. You can attempt to do it silently and without gesturing.
Let's see how good.
It's a mysticism check, and if I recall it correctly, it's 20 plus whatever you spend in mana as a DC. So if you spend like 3, it's 23, and so forth. It does include the upgrades to the spell. So
yeah, mine. So my spell for sleep doesn't have anything on there, so I don't.
Doesn't?
No.
Shit. Okay, I do have it.
I was gonna say that one's pretty straightforward. I just don't know if there's anything to upgrade it, so make it harder for him.
No, for it to be harder, where is it? Sleep specialist, and it doesn't have any tech. Holy shit! Okay, hang on. Give me a second. I'll grab it. So specialized that you don't even need your.
I don't need to know anything about it.
Yeah, just do it.
It's a good old nap.
Good old nap.
I'm pretty sure you can upgrade it in the sense of making it like harder to resist.
Mm-hmm.
At least not as a basic spell goes. But where is it? Here. But you might be able to do something. Also, it will make you have to, gesture to guess it, obviously, unless you want to try. All right. Right. You can. It's a partial will save. No, I don't want PDF. It's a partial will save. You have to target a humanoid, which is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exhausted. Okay, if he's not in combat and he fails, he just sleeps, and he's unconscious and prone, unless he's in a hostile situation, which is not the thing yet. If you add 2 mana points, it doesn't matter. It's only for a combat version of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 2, you would move the target. You would change the target for creature. So if he wasn't a human, you could affect him. And plus 5 MP. Sorry. You affect every valid targets of your choosing inside the range, which is short. So. You would just have to do it, like the basic cast of the spell does it. And since he's not in combat, he'll just fold over and fall asleep. The only thing that I see here that could be useful for you is the plus 5 mana improvement, which would give you...
just take out his buddies too.
You could probably shut down the entire crew.
I think I'm consulting mentally with Skorn and going, perhaps you could provide a distraction temporarily, and I can either take out the entire crew or just the captain.
All right.
Okay.
Man of few words. He's a man of few words.
Yeah. What you want to attempt to cause a distraction or something. And you would know that it would be harder to put him to sleep if he's like, with adrenaline coursing through his veins, like if he's in combat.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So, he'll call back to the captain one more time. Captain, do you know
Yeah.
coin?
Sorry, what?
Kind of as if we were like kind of like resuming, like where he's like, I don't know about this guy. It's like, do you know for some coin?
A few to bars might, refresh my memory.
He'll pull out one coin and kind of do the trick where he'll roll it between his fingers and then pop it into his other hand. And then he'll pull out another and then do that. And just kind of just gauging like where it is in the price point that like.
Are you doing that with silver coins or gold coins?
I'll do it with gold.
Okay, when the second ones come, he's like unimpressed.
I mean, so I'm just keeping and doing this. This is my distraction.
It's like,
I'm just so
you
going.
might have to do your trick quicker if we are getting anywhere.
All right, and then he'll reach into his pocket and
When
just
he
kinda
notices you're doing like
out,
one by
he'll
one,
just do it like
he's
this. He'll just like flick it. He'll start like just doing this and like flicking them out of like his pocket, like into his other hand.
Give
and
me
just, like, catching them.
any dexterity based check. It could be like thievery or
Acrobatics.
in this case, since you were like juggling stuff and throwing stuff, it could be acrobatics or even aim if you're trying to make.
Can I do
something like
reflexes? Or I guess aim. Yeah, aim's higher, but
I think aim. No, not reflexes. I don't think so.
I was just looking for
something like you're throwing like a bunch. If you say like you're throwing like a bunch of and trying to grab them all, I will allow for a reflex.
Yeah, aim's better anyway.
So go ahead. You tossed one like you see that he's looking at you. And waiting, and you see that one of his pockets, like from his overcoat, is open, and you just flick it inside of it, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
He almost jerks away from it, like you see that he has the reaction to kind of avoid it, but which worries you a bit. But he kind of understands what you're doing and just lets it fall inside his pocket, and he's like.
Smooth.
Probably as he looks down is when I'm finally like, okay, I guess we're doing this spell.
Go ahead and you finish at this point. He's like,
I'm over here just waiting for them to like
he
whatever
looks,
she's gonna do.
Like, yeah, pretty cool. Do you do it to everyone, like to the entire crew?
Yeah, I'll do. I think it was.
Yeah, you wait for them to walk back inside to grab another crate and just listen to it. So yeah, they are all asleep now.
Thanks.
That was very impressive.
I'll reach back into his pocket and grab it.
It's a cool party trick. I should take you out sometime to one of these places.
Well, he doesn't know that.
I'm not even there.
He's out here at the parties, and I'm like, I know where the good stuff is because I'm not allowed in the parties because I look like a fucking monster, so I go on. I'm a man of the people, the back alleys.
You're friendly neighborhood alley man.
With mechanical arms and deformations.
Yeah, and other woodly parts.
All right.
So you can now access the ship. Like nobody seems to have noticed. Like everyone's just going, doing their own routine at this point. These kinds of negotiations happen all the time, and then nobody says anything. and you have the ship to yourselves.
Nice.
Wonderful.
I'll take 2 of the barrels and just kind of put them in front, like, of the hobgoblins, so that way, like
Oh,
to
he's
block him
up
from
there,
like
like-
general view. Oh, he's upstairs.
No, yeah,
Okay.
he's up there, and he kind of fell backwards, like
So
Yeah.
he's up on deck. Oh, okay. So
yeah.
just, at
So
least
he
for
just
any
fell
of the
back
other
onto the deck,
people,
so it's
yeah, at least
not.
any of the goblins that might be like in like plain view, just like let's
Yeah, you
just
kind
move
of
some barrels to
cover
kind
like
of
the
just
ones that were carrying
slightly block
stuff.
them.
Yeah, you slide
from
them like from view, exactly. But yeah, the guy's snoring up there, which would track because you kind of realize that they were probably working through the
They were
night.
at
So
the end of their shift,
yeah,
so it's
just
largely
probably finished whatever they were doing and it's taking a nap. So it's not, calling attention or anything.
But still, perhaps we work quickly.
Yes, you do have, like, I would say, since they would probably go to sleep soon, like they're tired and all, you might actually have hours before they wake up naturally, unless something wakes them up. So it's a long nap at least for them here, unless, they didn't seem well rested before that, and since you put them to sleep, their body's just doing the work for them. But before you board the ship, Thyrsis, you arrive. Where were you going again? You arrive at was it the university or
The arts college?
Yeah,
Yeah, the arts
school.
college for.
So yeah, you go to the college. It's at this point, it's almost like the sun's coming up. You are pretty high in the sky, obviously, but you seem to be flying near it seems to be like a countryside full of hills. You haven't been to this part, but it's covered in little hills everywhere. Yes. It doesn't seem to be very densely populated. You kind of spot it seems to be a fort, maybe a day ahead. And there seems to be other like a big river coming through. It seems to be a very backwater kind of place that Vectora would never even bother stopping for. But you arrive there flying when you start to see some of the stuff already arriving. You see a few students already doing their morning routines outside the dorms. Some of them coming back from whichever party they were last night. Some walk of shames happening in front of you, and it seems that the day is just beginning at this place. What are you going to look for? You have the guy's name?
I do have the guy's name, so I think the best thing is to ask some of the students for sure where his classroom might be, or where he usually is around this time.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You try to you try to spot some art kid, and it's immediately you see someone kind of like this, waving a little bit, going back to the dorm instead of out of it, and you fly down from the sky and lands in front of him, and this guy's like, holy shit, whoa, that mushroom was fine. Yeah, good morning to you, sir. Enrolling today, are you?
Yes. Looking to pick the mind of one of the teachers here, see if it's a good fit.
Okay. A little soon to find a benefactor or but sure, you have your aims very well defined. That's very good for upcoming artists such as yourself. I should do that at some point.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for how do I say this? Mirsky? Sorry, that's the Mirsky.
You immediately see him going like sour, like, why would you at this time remind me of him? Yeah.
Yeah. The like.
Yeah.
What about him?
I just would like to talk and learn a thing or two from him. Maybe ask for some advice. Like maybe a little bit of
advice from him. No, why would you? I mean,
well, one of his paintings
really,
seems to have had a. Well, one of his works had a very interesting effect on me and a friend. So I just wanted to see how.
I did last time I saw one.
No, they inspired them to make other work. It was interesting.
Oh, that's very troubling to hear. Actually, I would very much prefer that it was contained, and not spreading. And can you imagine something derivative coming from that piece of? Anyways, just Sure, I can point you to their classroom.
Yeah, a point would be great. If you point
that
me
one.
That one.
That
would do it. Okay, do it. Okay. Well, I appreciate your candor in this situation.
You see that they barred the windows for some reason because of his work. So good luck getting in through the window, but you can just climb the stairs.
Yeah, you look like you could use some rest. Probably.
Yes.
Appreciate your honesty on the situation that
big day tomorrow.
For.
Today, big day ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck with that big day.
Thank you.
I think. Yeah.
Want some?
No.
All right.
I'm doing stuff. Thanks.
I'm also doing stuff, clearly. So have a good day, sir. He goes back to his door.
I love that. That was so good.
Sorry. I made a comment. I'm like, oh shit. Oops.
So it's pretty easy to find, like, when okay, it's the third floor, like pointing east, you just climb up and look for a big classroom. Mm-hmm. And it is closed. You see some students already coming back and forth, some of the ateliers and stuff that they have there. The classes haven't begun yet, but you see that some of the more industrious, students are already up and about and doing their stuff. Not very crowded. But the door is closed. You see experimental art at the door, like a sign.
Yeah.
And Professor Mirsky, just that.
Mm-hmm. The heck, knock on the door.
No one comes, but one of the students sees you, like, knocking and waiting, and she stops and she's like, sorry, do you need Professor Mirsky?
Yeah, actually, I could use his. I'm looking for. He's involved in a piece of artwork that Homero came across, and I'm just interested in why his work was so coveted by Homero, as it was.
They used to. Yeah, I think they're friends actually, very good friends. But yeah, no, yeah, they they're kind of part of the same movement. You could call
The
it. It's
same movement.
very
Okay.
incipient, so I don't know if they have a name for it or a manifesto, but they do seem to be doing some experimental. She points to the black, like experimental stuff with magic and the arts.
Yeah, hypnotic and entrancing stuff. It's
all kinds of stuff. We actually had a showing of their work. Well, not them together, but last semester they brought Homero here, and it was a rage. Homero comes every 2 terms or so to get a new assistant, and yeah. This time, Murky, they convinced Homero to make a big exposition with some of his latest works. It was really nice, actually, very, very striking.
Yeah, I was. It's interesting that they knew each other so closely. It's I actually have an inquiry about one of the pieces he may have helped inspire Homero in.
You see that she's like kind of looking at the class that she was trying to go at, and she's like very polite, but she's like, well, either way, I heard that he had some. I'm not sure, some family issues. Like, I'm not his TA or anything, but I heard that his classes were canceled for today. And I saw him like crossing the courtyard in a rush and grabbing a carriage, going somewhere. So maybe administration knows something.
Yes, thank you. Sorry to keep you for your time. Where might
administration
be?
Of course. But yeah, if you need anything like that, and she's already like moving away.
Yeah,
it's just points to the like the desk where there should be some
Amazing, thank you. Yeah.
You arrive there, and there's this gentle-looking lady at the desk, like starting to pour some coffee and clearly starting her day.
Yeah.
Sorting some papers on the desk, and she notices you coming off, wings fluttering behind you, and she's like, "Oh my! Are you here to enroll? That's pretty early in the semester, or late." Anyways, yes. How may I help you?
Actually, looking for a Professor Mirsky.
Yes.
I heard he went away. Do you happen to know where?
I would, but who are you to them? Are you like not trying to assume anything, but like family? Like you don't look like anything like him. So
I think we're at an academy. Actually, here for business. He's Homero's residence has had an accident, and we're looking if Mirsky has any idea on what might have transpired.
They were very close. Yes. Yeah. Professor Mirsky usually.
Any insight as to Homero's?
Well, I don't know very much about Mr. Homero, but yeah, Professor Mirsky is close to him, and
so any information he could give us.
Well, I'm not sure if I should do some. If you try, she's definitely interested in whatever gossip you have. You've noticed, but she's also trying not to lose her job, giving personal information of one of the faculty members. So she's like, oh, I don't know if I should, but no, they were close. Like the general information, like stuff that would be publicly known, she's kind of giving you, but it would need a test to extract something else.
Yeah.
Anything charisma based would, of course, in this situation apply. It would depend on if you're lying. To make her believe that she can give you this information, or convincing her or coercing her to give you anything of this.
Well, I will say if
the metagaming pigeon in me wants to
veiled
cool.
I'm gonna very veiled if Mirsky is involved in Homera's accident, then anybody who knew and withheld information from us solving and helping the city become better and more safe would be probably considered an accomplice in this situation.
Oh, okay. Are you going the intimidation route?
I think I'm going the intimidation route with this.
Okay, go ahead. Nice.
Like
poor innocent lady in the.
I was gonna say it's
been just like, holy shit!
It's an active police investigation.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You do have a way to prove, like you obviously you don't have badges, but you have some kind of writs that tell you that tell people that you are consultants to the police. So give me an intimidation check.
I think just for safety. Well, 18. Okay. No, I'm just gonna roll it. Let's see what happens. 25.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Am I sure about that?
She really likes her job.
Cena?
If you can re-roll it by any chance, you could add stuff that you haven't previously.
And say Can I add with the pride when making a skill check?
You can.
Okay.
A lot.
I think I will. Oh gosh, you scare me now with that.
Well,
I'm going to up
Kaden, for
this.
reference, I think he's making this one of like the 6 or 7 we need, which
Yes,
means the
definitely.
thing's like 34. Because the last one was
so
like
this is
32.
Got it. Okay.
So this is like I think it'll be like 34 to pass.
I understand now. I thought this was just a regular. I didn't realize that was the stake. Okay. Well, I've got MP to burn. Let's up.
You have to imagine that a lot of students with high charisma have been trying to persuade her of stuff.
They're all
over the years.
Yeah.
So she's particularly well guarded against people's charms. She's kind of a minute boss for you.
Intimidation. May I pitch for intimidation that Skorn might be able to help? Because he might
connection
from the other side of the city.
Well, hints.
I'm
more
like how I look. I don't understand how I can help in that sense.
I was thinking you would have some tips of like how to look more intimidating physically.
On a meta level, my intimidation is +1. So hell
no. You can do intimidate. Like you can do actually any skill check with another attribute if it makes sense. So you can justify like doing something like, oh no, I do a trick shot, like I shoot between his legs and do something and it ricochets and hits something else and I show that I'm badass and that counts as a
because my character is goated.
Also that
I can use
you can
pride.
add like a bajillion.
I can use pride for 8 mana and add +16.
Jesus.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So
you have
to.
Since I wasn't clear, by the way, that this was one of those important rules, you can just add it how much you want. I won't say how much you need, obviously, but you can add as much as you can and want.
I think I'm just gonna cover the base. Let's add that +16 using 8 of my mana for
that
this.
That will be enough.
Put the fear of God in this woman. Put the fear of God in this woman in the front desk.
At this point, like, she was kind of like...
She'll be in prison for the rest of her life.
Fear me.
At the start of the...
off with her head.
Yeah, you were saying some stuff about, some information because this and that. And then you kind of dragged something about, an active investigation and having trouble with the law. And she's like,
Hands on the sword.
Oh, hell no. And she's like, of course, normally you would have to go to the proper channels to be allowed, but, an active investigation is something very urgent and important. And of course, what would you need to know?
I need to know. Oh gosh, what
the little mug with coffee is kind of shaking in her hand.
Yeah, I need to know
where he is right now, where he has fled to.
Where Mirsky has gone off to.
Oh, he's at the hospitals. Indeed, something happened to. We heard of it.
Jesus fucking Christ! If we just went to the
hospital.
Mr.
Homero, and we got a message from the hospital since Mirsky, Professor Mirsky, is his. Give me a second here. Since Professor Mirsky is Homero's emergency contact, they were called to be there for him. I don't know if he had an accident or something, but he seems to be in a dire situation. And he left straight away and told everyone that he would be on a leave of absence until further notice. We are scrambling to find a replacement for I don't know how long indefinitely will mean.
Right. Well,
he's right there at his bedside, I assume.
That is perfect. Thank you. I won't trouble you anymore. You can keep your job and rest safely.
All right.
I will,
if you need any more information, I'll be happy to help the authorities. And good luck.
We appreciate your assistance in this matter. We will not.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And I'll just do the little like double slap on the thing, like good talk. We're done here.
Zarthius all but said he is the proper channel.
He said in a Gandalf way, like when everything kind of turns dark behind him for some reason. And she's like, holy shit, 34. Come on, no 30. More. 30,
if it was a 25 plus 15, 41.
If it was,
The fear of God.
We probably did a little bit of like the wing stretching to give that overbearing feel.
Definitely. Covered like the hallway
the
lights, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "Hey, you definitely don't mess with those consultants." So yeah.
All you had to do is say you were the police.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we just needed to go to the hospital.
Well, for him,
this is all your fault.
So good. Kaden told I just needed to go to the hospital. We could have gone after him, and he just could have gone to the hospital.
We didn't know.
But you're finding important stuff that
this is lore.
Might not have otherwise.
We found
How
out
are we
other
supposed
things.
to know?
Yes.
We didn't know
this
who he was.
You say this is lore. I think this might be abuse of power, but to each their own.
But you did definitely find stuff that I did not think you would at all. Like information that I had for myself.
Prepared.
I was not prepared to divulge.
Batman can go eat his shorts. I'm a better detective.
Exactly. Stuff that I had to. At least I didn't have to make it up on the spot because I knew what was happening.
Good.
But it was not part of the adventure.
Man, I have
Congrats.
stuff. What you say, receptionist? I'm like, brother, I got stuff to do. Strange receptionist is the stuff. I'm like, Jesus.
All right.
So yeah, back to you guys. In the far corner of the city,
in the sewer,
shuffling through
in a town in the
boat. Yeah, so a zeppelin boat or something. What would you guys want to do?
I'm investigating.
Go ahead.
Ooh, natural 20.
Oh,
Right.
So that's 33 total.
It doesn't matter. It's a natural 20. I was debating how much you would know, and it seems that a lot is the answer.
Her eyes fully dilate.
Yeah. Something to that effect. You kind of attuned yourself to that energy, and it's been dwindling every step that you've made, like for the past like an hour or so. At this point, it's almost like a scent, like not something that you're seeing, like a twisting and crackling energy, but only a sensation, a feeling that it must have been there at some point, but it's fading. When you enter this cargo hold, you sense it all around you. Very faint still, but you try to start to absorb it and let it guide you to where you need to go. So you kind of see it leading you to a place where you see some soot there, like some dark residue from maybe cloth burned. And as you touch it, you see almost as if there was someone there, just sitting over a barrel with his head between his hands. And you hear faint in the back of your head, almost like as if it was one of them talking to you telepathically. You just hear over and over, "What have we done? What have we done? What have we done? What have we done?" You see this figure getting up and pacing, and you start to see like the correspondence, like the physical manifestation of that. The tracks that he left in the dust of the cargo hold. You see first through your mind's eye, and then you kind of see the actual evidence that is there. So you start to rebuild all his movements there. He seemed to have stayed between some cargo. You see that there are some soggy fabrics dumped in a barrel. You don't know if it seems that maybe he was transported inside this barrel amongst the other cargo at some point. You see that these clothes are burned and wet from the rain, and they have been discarded. When you touch this barrel, you feel him crouching, like inside of it. Very small, like not only physically, but like his spirit is almost crushed in there. And all the time, you're hearing, "What have we done? What have we done? What have we done? What have we done?" you start to see that that barrel was open at some point. Whoever was there left the clothes behind, whatever remains were there, and walked away. Who knows with what exactly? And when you look back and you see that, I assume that Skorn is at the entrance, kind of checking out if anything's coming your way. You see again this figure leaving with a different set of clothes, a backpack. Nothing new, but it seems to have been like he's still like adjusting the straps. It seems that you just got it. You see someone handing him a torch, and he's like grabbing it and putting it on the backpack. He pulls it's not exactly a hood, but it seems like a turban or something that he wraps around his head and covers part of his face. He turns back and stares at you. He drags down the cloth over his mouth and asks you, "Will you tell our story? Will you redeem us?"
I need to know it first.
Well, might not be your job after all. Good luck. He covers his face again, turns, and you see that this image starts reflecting stuff like lights from outside, and torches and lamps, and you see it crack and shatter like glass, red tinted glass. And every step that he gives, like he leaves a little bit more behind until he's just dust. And Skorn, as you turn around, you see the doctor wide-eyed, staring your way. As if she's seen a ghost.
What is it?
He's gone.
Where?
I don't know specifically where, but he fled. He kept saying, "What have we done?" Mr. Zarthius mentioned that Homera's work, something about a hive mind. The use of we, what have we done? So maybe it could be just him, Romero, or I don't know if, I mean, I suppose we could try to keep tracking him, but this feels...
Is it, you don't refer to Romero and him and the kids, they painted the mural?
Maybe it's him and Romero, maybe it's him and the kids. Maybe it's something else, but dragging him back to clarify what happened that night feels like a cruelty.
What are you saying? Is it?
No, I'm sure there's more, To be determined. We still have Homero, if he is awoken. I just... Do you think it's worth trying to secure passage and tracking him to wherever we landed and...
Where? I'm not sure if I understand what you're asking with that question, I won't lie. Like,
Is
where
it
exactly?
worth doing it? Like, is it worth going to all the effort to try to find...
Oh, just to try and find him. Okay.
Yeah.
So you meant like going back to where we came from the store. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Like return where we came from? I was like,
No.
Philosophically.
I was like, hold up, what? Trying to think of what Skorn would think of this.
We came from dust, and we'll come back to that. So yeah.
Also going... I would say no matter what, going off... leaving Vectora without Zarthia should not be an option, so no matter what, we need to come together.
Fuck.
Yeah. Alright.
So, does this mean we should meet at the hospital?
I think this means we meet at the hospital.
Okay. I will head that way. I think you have to... Hopefully those people are still sleeping.
They're probably going to be for a while. You do have, like, you do know where they operate from. You don't know if that's going to be the same place after whatever happened here transpires. But yeah, like you could also arrest them. Or at least point to the authorities in their direction, since they will be sleeping for a while. And they could apprehend them for questioning later.
I will leave such determinations up to Mr. Zarthius and just...
remembering, just because you said it, that this might be the only hot trail to Gráan.
Yeah.
Are you willing for it to stay that way, or for it to grow cold?
Mr. Zarthius, I go ahead and I describe more or less what I had seen and heard, and what Gráan had tried to say to me. Just asked. The trail will grow cold after this. It will only grow colder from this moment on. I don't think we should leave here without you. I also don't know if this is the trail we should be tracking so adamantly.
Ooh. Yeah. So, just running the thoughts. It's probably better, because as interesting as the Mirsky thing is, I don't know if he's gonna have any answers as to what was going on with Homero's magnum opus. I don't know for sure.
I don't know if anyone but Romero. I don't know if anyone but Romero are going to give the answer to that. I mean, Gráan was involved in it, and he was an assistant, but...
And he ran, so it's not like he knows anything.
Well, he probably knows something, but...
He might know something.
He's not the mastermind.
I guess the thing is...
He might be the mastermind. We don't know if he's the mastermind.
I guess the question becomes, do we want to figure out what Gráan means by his saying and follow him, or do we want to try and find maybe the root of everything? Maybe the root. I'd say it's like a 50-50.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Gráan just strikes me as a young student who probably got in over his head. I have seen I've had many students of my own who have gotten in over their heads, and have done.
Then we let it go cold.
All right. Let's
I think,
go to the hospital. If we need to retread this path, we know who dropped him off. We have a relative idea of the location. Things won't go entirely cold if they need to be retreaded, but it's a young man versus a renowned artist. I am biased, but find it difficult to believe that the one with the influence and the power was the one who was set on fire and fled into the night.
I could agree to that. People getting set on fire randomly aren't necessarily the evil ones.
I mean, it's a very good way to you know, I suppose just adjusting, you know, going in, obviously you're going to assume this is the victim, but it's a good way to throw you off the trail. So.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, hospital.
Hospital.
And we will...
I would say, as part of the telepathic bond that's happening, do I hear all this?
Yeah, unless they're specifically blocking you.
Skorn will just chime in to say, I burned someone. And that's all.
That's no context.
That's all he'll say.
Yes.
It can happen.
Yeah, I imagine you have. Riveting.
Well, so you're just leaving them behind and joining Mr. Zaruthius at the hospital. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to do a little break right now before we continue?
Seems like a good time.
Yeah, I thought it was a good time. I just
a little bit more food.
Look at that. Yeah. So everyone will reconvene in 10 to 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere or go and be back in time so we can continue.
Nice.
See you soon.